Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. You know, the saddest and most difficult days of my presidency have been when one of our students dies. Losing a member of the Florida State University family is always hard, but to see a young person's life cut short is especially heartbreaking. On Friday, Andrew Coffey, a 20-year-old fraternity pledge, died after attending a party. There are no words to describe the pain that Andrew's family and his friends, and certainly the FSU family, are experiencing right now. Our heart goes out to them as they grieve. It's my greatest hope that no other family member will have to suffer this type of tragedy. In addition to that, I was disheartened to learn today that an ongoing investigation has resulted in the arrest today, as I said, of an FSU fraternity member selling drugs. That case is unrelated to the death of Mr. Coffey, but I'm very concerned about these activities. The safety and the well-being of our students will always be my number one priority, and that's why I'm enacting several changes effective immediately. I'm imposing an indefinite interim suspension on all fraternities and sororities at FSU. During this time, fraternity and sorority chapters will be prohibited from holding new member events, council or chapter meetings, chapter organized tailgates, chapter events such as socials, philanthropy, retreats, and intramurals, organized participation in our Market Wednesday, and organized participation in homecoming. This pause is needed. It's needed to review and reflect on the loss of a young life and to implement serious changes. In the coming days, the Division of Student Affairs will create and implement new measures in collaboration with students and other stakeholders. For this suspension to end, there will need to be a new normal for Greek life at the university. There must be a new culture for our students, and they must participate in creating that culture. I've also instituted a ban on all alcohol at all registered student organization events during this period. FSU has more than 700 student organizations outside the Greek system. Our students must work with us and demonstrate they fully understand the serious obligations that they have to exercise responsible conduct. I meet with the Interfraternity Council and student leaders at the start of every single semester and throughout the year to establish expectations for our student organizations and let them know they're accountable for their actions. FSU has received numerous national recognitions for its programs to curb hazing and other destructive behavior, but clearly we must do more. Like most universities, we worry about alcohol and drug abuse and other dangerous behaviors, and we are doing all we can to educate our students. But our students and their organizations on campus must step up. They will be able to participate and should participate in the solution. Because of the ongoing investigation by the Tallahassee Police Department, I cannot answer any questions about the death of Andrew Coffey, but I will, along with Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Amy Hecht, and FSU Chief of Police, David Perry, certainly answer questions about the suspension. Thank you.
Any questions?
Of course. Tell me, the scope, fraternities and sororities are involved in lots of things. What is the scope of this halt? What are they allowed to do? What aren't they allowed to do?
I'll let Amy get the details of that for you.
So the sorority and fraternity members will be able to participate in meetings and conversations with myself and my staff to talk about where we need to go moving forward. But they will not be able to meet as chapters or as councils without our participation. For those that still have initiations that are necessary, they would only be able to do so if someone from their national organization is there to participate along with them. Other than that, all activities are ceased. They may participate in their meal plans should they have one at their house and continue that, and they may, of course, continue to live in those homes, but that would be the restriction.
Well, will they be able to meet informally as a group in whole or in part off campus for activities?
No.
Will this incident result in any students being kicked out of the university? Was that being looked into?
Well, I think our student code of conduct would allow for that to happen if in fact it does happen, but that's certainly in the future, and we'll have to wait and see how the facts develop in the case.
Is it likely that the interim suspension would last through the end of the semester, or?
You know, I don't have a time frame. I really don't. I want to send a message, though. I clearly do. I want to send a message that we've got a serious problem, and we need to deal with it, and they're part of the solution. And the sooner they can come to the table and we can all talk and find those solutions, the sooner this will be lifted.
Was it the drug arrest that triggered this, or had you thought about it after the death of the student due to alcohol?
No, I think the death of the student certainly was the preeminent issue that caused me to really give it some concern. And you know, like I said in my statement, I have met with these folks a lot. Certainly, both of these individuals meet with them on a regular basis also. And I just feel like, for whatever reason, the message is not getting through. And I want this now to take a pause, as he said, and let's reflect on what we need to do about the culture of Florida State University. This is a great university. We have a lot of good things going on at this university. But this certainly is something that can obviously hold us back. And we need to address it. We need to be very upfront about it and admit there's a problem out there, and let's find a solution to getting it solved.
Was Mr. Coffey's death alcohol related, hazing related, both, or neither?
You know, Julie, I don't have all the facts. The Tallahassee Police Department is looking at that. If the chief has something to add to that, I'll be happy to allow him to answer it. But I certainly don't have all those facts, and we're waiting to hear from the Tallahassee Police Department.
And have you been in touch with Mr. Coffey's family? Can you describe your communication?
Yeah, both Dr. Hecht and I talked to Mrs. Coffey Friday, the day of the death, and I talked to her late Friday night. And we had a understandably serious and private conversation, and my heart goes out to her and her family, and it's the same with Amy with her conversation. And we're here to do anything we can to assist the family and support them during this difficult time.
What is the worst case scenario punishment-wise for Greek life at FSU?
I don't know. We'll wait and see. I'm not gonna speculate on that. We'll just wait and see. You know, my belief is the fraternities and the sororities are going to come to us and say, let's fix this. I think the quality of students, by and large, at FSU are that kind of student, and I think they exist in the fraternities and sororities. We just need a pause, though, to kind of make sure that we're after those solutions and doing the right thing to correct these issues.
What are the rules regarding alcohol at fraternities and sororities at FSU?
So it depends on the chapter. Of course, there is no underage drinking permitted. That is against the law. There is FIPG guidelines that we educate our chapters on that have very specific outlines for those who are of age, how to safely partake. And we do educate all of our students on that process, all of our fraternity and sorority life students on that process. So I can give you more details, but it is a lengthy outline.
It's using third-party vendors. It's making sure that people have appropriate snacks and food available. And then we have a partnership with the Greek community called the Adopt a Cop and Greek Cop initiative, where we have an officer who is willing to come out to do pre-event inspections, to do in-party inspections while the event is ongoing, and then come back at the very end to assess how the event unfolded. So we're hoping our students will take all these resources, take advantage of those resources that we offer from the police department to at least be there, be present, and then give an assessment of how well they're doing for their event.
President Thrasher, had you consulted with other universities about, has any other universities done similar to this, or?
I've done a lot of research myself, along with Dr. Hecht. Have I personally called any president? I have not. No, I have not. But there's been enough written about different situations. Certainly the Penn State situation, one at Clemson, others around the country. And there's a lot of literature out there about solutions and options and things like that. We've consulted all that. And we're going to have a menu of things that we think the fraternities and sororities, we're going to ask them to take a look at. Some fairly major cultural changes. And some of that comes from those issues. Some of it comes from what we think would be in the best interest of FSU and these organizations. So, yeah, the answer is yes. We've done a lot of research, and we're prepared to address those starting this afternoon with our fraternities and sororities.
It's no surprise that partying is pretty excessive at FSU, one may say. Were there any red flags previously that FSU could have addressed that could have possibly prevented this? Or?
Well, you know, I mean, we've done a lot of things. We Chief and his folks do a lot of things every single weekend, which is the predominant time when these things happen. We've consulted with the leadership of the fraternities. We've talked to them about high-risk behavior. I've talked to them about the consequences of that, both individually as well as for their chapter. Could we do more? The answer is yeah, we're going to do more. And I hear the concerns that are out there. And, you know, frankly, if you drive down College Avenue on a Friday night, I don't think you have to be, you know, a rocket scientist, frankly, to know that there's some things going on. I'm not a person who doesn't understand that. I was in college, albeit a long time ago, and I recognize some of the things that go on here. But I also recognize that we have got, as an administration, to make sure that this is a safe place for our students. And I'm going to continue to do everything I can to make sure that happens.
Do we have any other questions?
For my benefit, can we just make sure we have the correct identification of the people on either side of you, please?
Sure. Dr. Amy Hecht, Vice President for Student Affairs. And that is Chief David Perry,
Yeah.
Chief of Florida State Police Department.
Thank you very much.
And this, of course, Chief Perry, let me just close by saying, you know, to kind of answer your question a little bit more, there was no indication we were going to have a death. I mean, there's nothing that showed that, you know, that that was going to happen. I mean, had we known that, obviously, I'd have done everything I could to prevent it. And now we know that it can happen. And unfortunately, we have got to take steps in a serious manner with our partners and stakeholders and students to make sure it doesn't happen again. And that's my pledge to our students, to their parents, and certainly to this community. We're going to take the necessary steps to see it doesn't happen again. Thank you all.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.